Hey guys, how you doing? It's Ash Lane here, Clash with Ash, episode 219. Today, I'm going to bring you some keys to pushing, and I also want to bring you what to expect from each of the cup ranges. So a lot to cover today, but first, I want a quick update on my life in the clouds. And things have taken a little step back here. As you can see, I'm at 4463 cups. I was very close to 4600 about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. But unfortunately, I was on vacation and it was hard for me to play for any extended stretches. So although I would log on, try to find one attack, I would more often than not lose my cups quickly thereafter on defense, and I would actually take more of a hit because I'd only be gaining, the first offer I could find, which is probably anywhere from 1 to 5 cups, and then I'd be losing about 20. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just play some replays as I tell you my keys to pushing and what to expect. I think that might be a little bit more interesting rather than just showing the text. So let's start with some defensive replays. I'll show 2 of each here. Hopefully we'll have time, and let's go ahead and show this 2-star loss on my defense. As you can see, I won 2 in a row previous to that, so I guess I'll play all 3 of these. Let's start with the loss my defense took. So like I said, I'm not going to comment on these videos. I just want to get into my keys of pushing. So the keys to pushing, right? So the first key I want to talk about today is set a goal and be patient, right? So you can't jump from, silver to champion in one day. Well, maybe you can, but the average player can't, right? And you can't push from 3,200 to, the top 200 in the world in a week or 2 weeks. You have to do these over a long period of time, in a very comfortable period of time. You don't want to burn out. It's so easy to burn out, and you also have to make the decision, how long am I pushing for? Am I on an individual push? Am I helping my clan out? So obviously a lot to think about, and you want to make sure you know exactly what your goals are and have a well-defined goal. So when you wake up, when you go to sleep one day with more cups than you woke up, that is a win. Even if it's 20 cups, you should take that as a win. So forget about all your losses or your defensive losses, and if you're up on the day, that is good. So avoid frustration too. You want to walk away from the game when you take a really frustrating loss or when you lose a ton of cups. Don't vent in clan chat. Nobody likes negative people, and obviously you can share with your clanmates, but don't go overboard. Everybody hates that guy who just goes on a tirade in clan chat. So try to walk away though, because these losses can compound, right? So you don't want to gem an army or something, or go in right away without a full army, or whatever you want to do that's ill-advised. Don't do it, and walk away from the game for a bit if you can afford to. And the last thing about being patient is, as I go to my next replay here, the last thing about being patient is you want to go ahead and next until you find at least 15 to 20 cups. Everybody has their own number that they prefer here. Just quick side note: this attacker, I must have been a 50+ offer because I only lost 7 on the defensive win here, and he went in without his queen. So I guess he just really wanted that piece of that 50 cup pie. These are the defensive losses that I talk about that can actually kill it. They can absolutely kill you. If he had gotten 1 star, it would have been over 15 cups here. So. Yeah, so next until you find about 15 to 20 or more cups. So a lot of people go, I see, losses of 30 or 40 cups or 39 cups or whatever from clanmates once in a while. I'm like, why do you even attack that village? Be patient, and next. And that brings me to my next key, the number 2 tip for pushing, and that is swap servers and by swapping languages. So a lot of people, way back in the day, they used to be a little superstitious about this, right? They would say, I don't think this works, or I don't think it's effective, but let me tell you, after, years of pushing experience, as well as, my clanmates also being top 200, I can tell you that switching servers via the language control in the settings actually makes a big difference. So a lot of people think just logging off the game and closing the app and then quickly reopening it will also do the same thing. I can't speak to that. I'm not sure if it does. I imagine it might, because I think the goal is anything that resets your global, that you change globals in, that will also reset your servers. So that would be my suggestion is either log out the game or switch languages, and I find that different languages have better populations. Now, obviously, this could be totally just superstition or whatnot, but I switched from English to France to Germany to Italy, and once in a while I'll try Norse or or Turkey or China or some of the Asians, but basically that top row there, I try to stick with those minus Espanol. So anyway, let's go into, let's see, what do I pick your, okay, so that's the switching servers. Can we go to my third tip here as I go to the my last defensive win here. Let's go ahead and show you guys that. And we'll go into the third key to a successful push is pick an army that you're comfortable with and stick with it, right? So go with an army you're comfortable with and you have experience with. So if you're, primarily an air attacker, stick with air. If you're a ground attacker, stick with ground. And obviously, keep even your very last troop the same. Get so comfortable with a strategy that you know down to every last archer exactly what you're going to be using. That way you're really comfortable with it. It will become your bread and butter attack, right? So if you have heroes down, go with air attacks. That is one caveat, right? So you don't want to go with ground attacks without heroes. So if you're upgrading royals, go ahead and switch to air because you're more likely to pull off the 1 or 2 stars with an air attack versus a ground attack minus the heroes. And if you need loot, go with a hybrid push, right? So basically, maybe set your trophy standards a little bit lower, and at the same time, go a little bit higher with your loot standards, right? So, but the new league bonuses, I guess they're not that new anymore, but I'm going to go ahead and, look at this attacker here. He gets a little greedy. He probably could have gotten the 1-star here, but instead he goes for the Town Hall, so you might want to keep an eye on that. But like I said, getting back to the league bonuses, they're not really new anymore, but they do help quite a bit when we're talking about resource loss mitigation. So go ahead and try to do a hybrid push. So just be picky about your villages, right? So maybe, like I said, you go down to 10 cups minimum and maybe 250,000 loot or maybe 400,000 loot as a minimum as well. So there's a lot of nexting involved. Now let's move on to what to expect during the cup ranges of a push, right? So from up until 2800 or so, it's pretty much smooth sailing. No matter what town hall you are, now that town hall 8s and 9s are more apt to, or lower, I guess, you see clans like Savage 7, right, with the lower level town halls in Champions League. But now that you're more apt to find your own town hall level, that should help a little bit and make it a little bit less difficult for lower level town halls to push. Obviously not super high, but into that Masters League and into lower champions. So it's pretty smooth sailing up to 2800. Now when you hit around 28 to 2900 cups, you'll start getting attacked immediately as soon as you log off. When I say immediately, I mean within, 1 minute, 60 seconds or so. So that's what to expect around that range. I'm just going to cover all the ranges here as you can see that 49% victory. Pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and pick up here. So around 3,000 to 3,800 or so, offers will gradually start to decrease, and you'll be nexting more and more, swapping villages. So that's going to cost you a little bit of gold because you're going to be nexting quite a bit. Let's start with my 2-star, and then we'll go to one of the 1-stars. And then you want to then around 3,800 or so, you start. Actually at 3,600, the chat opens up, so you're able to chat with your clanmates while you're in the clouds, while you're searching for a village. So that happens at 3,600 cups, and then around 38 to 4,200. Welcome to the clouds. Like I said, it takes longer to find matches. So all those Master League 1-cup offers, they start to go away. There's no more Master League offers. It's all champions, and there just starts to be a longer amount of time in between your offers. So it could be, you'd be staring at the little magnifying glass for quite a while. Maybe in the beginning around 3,800. Maybe it's it can be up to 30 seconds between an offer sometimes. But then when you get around 4,200 to 4,400, well, then it starts to be around 2 to 3 offers. When I say offers, I mean a village that you can attack no matter what the cups are. They come at around 2 or 3 offers per timeout. When I say timeout, I mean that after you search for a village for about 10 minutes, it says, unable to find a village, please search again. So then you have to restart the search for a village. Now, hopefully you switch servers before that, so you wouldn't have to see that too often, but when you get to a certain cup level, you're going to actually see that quite often. So then around 4,400, to 4,500, you'll see around 1 offer per timeout. So then you're seeing about 1 village on average. These are just totally, rough numbers here, but you're seeing about one village per 10 minutes or so. So you're looking at, and sometimes you can go 3 or 4 in a row, not seeing 1. Sometimes you'll get 3 in a row. So as I said, a rough average there. Let's go ahead and watch one of my 1-star attacks, 49% Heartbreaker. So then you get to 4,500 and 4,600 range, and you get around, this is totally, like I said, a rough estimate again, but you get around 20 offers in a 6-hour boost session. So Supercell, boots you off the game, makes you take a break, makes you go on defense after about 6 hours of playing straight without logging off. And if that happens, if that happens, obviously you lose cups. It's pretty rough when you get kicked, especially without the clan castle fill of defensive units. But you only see about 20 offers or so. I mean, sometimes you can have good days, sometimes you can have very bad days, but about 20 offers per 6 hours. So that is not good, my friends. There's a lot of cloud staring. There's a lot of unable to find villages, a lot of timeouts, but that's basically it. That's the really rundown of what to expect from each trophy level. Now, like I said, if a lot of you are below 2,800, starting your first push maybe, or your first push is a Town Hall 8 or 9, you want to get those gems, get to Champions League. My last bit of advice for you guys, trying to be first-time champion, would be to go ahead and use an air army. I really find the air it's a little faster to train, depending on what you're using for ground, but like a golem-based army is a little bit slower than a LavaLoonion type army or a LavaLoon. I prefer LavaLoon, but some people prefer the old traditional Loonion. My first time to champion was with a Loonion because it was way before Lava Hounds were released in the game. But I like air attacks through Crystal and Masters League, so I would suggest anywhere, what you can do with your air attacks, you can play around depending on what resource you might be low on, right? So, for example, if you're low on Dark Elixir, you can go heavier on the balloons, maybe bring 26 balloons or so. And if you're short on elixir, but you have plenty of dark elixir, go ahead and bring only 18 balloons, 16 balloons, and then bring way more minions or a lava hound. So there's a lot of flexibility you can do, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this video because it has ran a little bit longer than I intended. But guys, I hope you were able to pick up a thing or two from these keys to pushing and what to expect in the cup ranges. So guys, please share with your clanmates and take care, guys.